Hey, it's 3 a.m. in the morning and I'm going to one of the most beautiful swamps in Latvia to meet the sunrise in this misty, beautiful place. And I thought, why not share this experience with you while also talking about some of the most vampiric fragrances that I know. So, if you're up for that, let's go. So the first fragrance is Chopard's Rose Malaki. So it's a sweet, comforting rose reinforced with ethyl maltol, and it's contrasted with a very edgy, modern, up-to-date leather that just smells like new tech equipment to me. If we're talking in terms of vampires, this would be like a high-tech cyberpunk one. And the fragrance, it fills my throat. It's very warm, comforting, and at the same time cold and modern, you know, and it has this milky, saffrony facet to it. It definitely reminds me of Montal's Intense Cafe or Mancera's Roses Vanilla, but with less sweetness and more masculinity, definitely. On me it lasts for 5 to 6 hours and the price is roughly around 80 bucks, which is quite medium for this list. So the next one is Dior Fahrenheit Le Parfum. So this is kind of similar to Rose Malaki in the way that it smells, but it's pushed up to 11. Boozy, violety, rich, leathery, has a burning feeling to it, which is beautiful. It's quite a bit gentlemanly, but it's also burning and passionate and definitely stretches the definition of a vampire very thin. It definitely emphasizes sexuality and passion. It has this ability to change through time, and depending on the weather, it even may smell more like grapes or beeswax. It lasts eternally on me. 10 to 12 hours easily, up to the next day as well, and yeah, it's really good for its price, but the price is quite high. In Fragrance X I saw it like for 150 euros, which is a bit overpriced. Here in Latvia it costs around 100, and for that price I do think that these 75 mils are a good pick. Actually, it smells kind of like an old man in a way to some people, but what an old man it is. And in the third place we move from a burning, passionate scent to a more intelligent, calm and reserved one. Ambre Sultan from Serge Lutens. It's an amber with minimum sweetness. It has this resinous, woody, balsamic quality to it. And it has a bit of vanilla in the background, but it's very fragrant and aromatic, which I absolutely love. It very much reminds me of dark academia, and it has this a bit sinister, a bit intelligent vibe that I just absolutely love. And the musk choice definitely reflects the overall vibe of the fragrance. It has this very classically masculine, so these are nitro musks, again musketone, muscanone, something along those lines. And for me it lasts for around 8 to 9 hours, which for the 100 bucks that it has for its 100 mils, I mean, it's a pretty good value for niche, in my opinion. The top two, in my opinion, are really close, so now let's go with bonus fragrances. And the first one from bonus fragrances is Zadig and Voltaire's This Is Him. It's all about incense and vanilla. Woody, sweet, a bit smoky, quite flat on the skin in the long term, but still pretty amazing cheapy in its own time. If you can get a full bottle for around 40 bucks, I would probably recommend it. But if it's any more than that, you should really think if you really want that, because some of the fragrances in this list are better for less price. The other bonus, Guerlain's Vetiver. It's an amazing vetiver scent with the smell of old money, honestly. It's cold, wet, a bit spicy, woody, and definitely gothic. Some of the odors that I can pick up here are definitely vetiver, some nitro musks, spices like nutmeg and cloves, and some citruses. It's in bonus because it basically smells really old. And the musk choice here is the same as Ambre Sultan, or at least quite similar, but here it's not smoothed out as much, which makes it not worthy of the full list. Oh, and it lasts for 8 to 9 hours and costs around 100 bucks, at least officially, so I don't think you want to buy it full price. If you can get it for cheap, good for you. And in the second place, we've got Rien Intense Incense from Etat Libre d'Orange. It's quite incensey, smells a bit metallic, has undertones of leather and spiciness. No sweetness though. In a way, it reminds me of formic acid from my grandfather's photo studio, which smells quite particular and quite weird for a scent that's all about incense, honestly. So if we were talking about vampires, this would be like a religious cross-hating one that just, you know, very classic. In a music sense, it reminds me of a band called Batyushka, which is very religious in its thematics, but at the same time, it's very metal. On me, it lasts for really long times, easily until the next day, and the price is around 150, but I've gotten it for like 80 bucks, so be careful, you can get some good deals for this fragrance. It definitely doesn't garner any compliments at all, but it's quite distinctive. Especially my girlfriend, for example, every time I wear this, she always says, "Oh, you're wearing the church one again, right?" And yeah, I usually am. And due to its lasting power and projection and a bit of metallicness, it's a perfect scent for winter. And in the first place, we've got Hisoires de Parfums Irreverent. It's again quite resinous, dark, bitter, with a more sweeter ambery undertone, which I absolutely love. It's super rich and complex, but also has this quite approachable, gourmandy, slightly vanillic, coffee-ish vibe to it. This reminds me of an old wealth guy that just sits in his castle, but at the same time he's still quite young and up to date, and he just knows what's in right now. It's quite long lasting. On me it lasts for 9 to 10 hours easily, and the projection is also really good. The price though, it rarely goes on sale. Usually it costs around $200 or euros, whichever you prefer, and yeah, I basically paid the full price for it. Still, it's not 100 mils, it's 120. And it's definitely my winter signature scent that I use almost all the time. By the way, if you're interested in a more professional vibe, click here for fragrances that will get you a raise.